More about living in the time of the coronavirus epidemic. As for the field mouse, his truth is marching on. He is concerned about hotspots in his state where the virus numbers are high. I live in one of them. He's arranging for pop-up testing centers to counter those hotspots. He has not yet stopped the opening up process. What will happen if people do flood in to get tested is that the numbers will increase even more. More tests, higher numbers. The hotspots will turn into burn areas, and he will have to take action. The field mouse is so caring. He cares about the elderly, he cares about the children, he cares about the unemployed, he cares about the police and police reform. He cares about not just black people, but all minorities. He cares about all the people who live in his state. The one thing he does not care about are the several lawsuits that have been upheld against all that caring. There was a budget hearing for the city last night held in the convention center, and the public was invited to speak. And they did. Speaker after speaker called for the complete elimination of police funding in the hundreds of millions of dollars. We don't need that, people said. The money could be spent for other, better purposes, social services. This was met with applause and cheering. Then an old white guy, a city resident, said he was in favor of funding the police. We need their protection, he said. As he was speaking, people began to boo. Then there was shouting and screams, and very quickly it got angry ugly. The meeting was stopped. Many people remained upset, and a spontaneous demonstration occurred outside. Lots of buildings were tagged with anti-police slogans, and a flag was burned. So I have to repeat myself. At this point, Black Lives Matter, and white people had better know when to shut up, or else. Also, the cop in Atlanta, who might have committed a crime in shooting the suspect in the back and killing him, he has been overcharged and will possibly be acquitted, which will further convince all protesters that the system is rigged, and the only possible way of moving forward is to completely eliminate the entire criminal justice system as it exists and construct something new that would be equitable and fair to all. In other words, Atlanta, as it now stands, is playing itself into a huge mess that will further engulf us. As with the virus, the initial problem was bad, but the response to it made everything so much worse. We are the agents of our own destruction. Russia and China have only to sit back and watch. And I will say something now that will come across as complete heresy, to be written off as the ravings of a delusional old white guy. These incidents and protests are especially unfortunate to me because they come at a time when I think relations between the two races were better than ever, verging on true mutual respect. In so many interactions, the color of skin was no factor. The great caution to that is poverty and drugs, but for many people, relations were cordial, and now that's gone. I heard that no police officers, that is none, showed up for work in Atlanta today. If that is true, it's terrible news. Unfortunately, it's also understandable. When one side puts everything on the line, you can expect the other side to do the same. Reason is out. Emotions rule. We have a standoff, one that could quickly destabilize our entire society. Oh, for the days when we were all in this together. I really did not believe that then. I thought it was political cheerleading, but it's impossible to believe it now. We were so blessed, and now we are beset by enemies we can't even find a way to fight. The virus, the economy, the racial divide. One of the worst things about the race issue is that the two sides do not respect each other, not one bit. Black people see whites and the cops as brutal, untruthful, and untrustworthy. Also, murderers. Whites and cops see protesters as misguided, blinded, impractical, and idiotic, wanting a world that can't possibly exist. As I see it, both sides are right. The slogan is no justice, no peace. It's a threat. The flip of it is also true. No peace, no justice. That's a fact. It's a terrible situation, one that has gone too far. I'm not sure anything can bring it back. Anybody want to talk about the coronavirus?